Hey there, good morning to you. Welcome to Still Up with 6. It's a little bit different this morning as we are practicing our social distancing. Chris Rogers is actually joining us on Still Up with 6 from the comfort of his home. Hey there, Chris. How's it going over there?
Hey Heidi, I'm just getting into the Facebook feed right now to monitor some of the comments so we can answer some questions at home. Yeah, we day one here at the Rogers Home Studio as we at 6 News, just like you guys, are having to practice social distancing. This is the safest thing we can do, is to stay as far away from each other as possible. It's a little unfortunate, but the show must go on, right? We've got to still do the news, and we're still here to answer everything you guys want to know about at home.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing here on Still Up. So if you have any comments, drop them below. But I do want to give everyone a quick update on the numbers. It's something we've been doing every single morning here on Still Up. As of this morning, there are 17 positive cases in McLennan County, and that's the most any local county so far. We just want to reiterate that. Bell County saw an uptick in cases over the weekend. They now have 10 cases. 6 of them are in Temple. In Brazos County, there are 12 cases, with 10 of them now being deemed as travel related. As for Milam County, there is just 1 case right now. So those are the latest numbers this morning.
I do want to say, Donna said, so start reporting how many are recovering. Maybe Donna's looking for some positive stories. I understand that. There's a lot of doom, there's a lot of gloom right now with the numbers. Obviously, it's hard to report how many are recovering. The interest right now is how many cases are popping up. But Donna, we have been trying to share the love and spread the love and try to continue to tell positive stories coming out of this, because I know a lot of you think that this is all just bad news coming out and it's hard to hear, but we encourage you to send us your stories of people that are doing good in your community amid this pandemic as well.
And we want to get to some comments right now. Paula says good morning. Ann Webb Sullivan says good morning as well. And then Jason's asking a question. What do you know about people with asthma?
Yeah, Jason, that's a really good question. Here's what I can tell you. People with asthma, that is one of those underlying factors that is going to put you more at risk. Of course, everyone should be staying careful, but if you know someone with asthma, if you're someone who suffers from asthma, it is so important to continue to practice those hygiene practices that we've been continuing to tell you about, and stay home, stay in one place, because this is a respiratory virus. That's the way that it does attack. So if you have asthma, it is one of those underlying issues that they do encourage you to make sure you stay in one place until this thing is over.
There's a lot of questions right now about a shelter-in-place order. I know Dallas County, as of this evening, 11:59 tonight, they will go into a shelter-in-place order. A lot of people are asking if this is going to become a statewide thing. As of yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott did tell people in a press conference that he does not plan to issue that order as of right now, because there are 254 counties in the state of Texas, and more than 200 of those counties don't have any cases of the coronavirus at this time. So just an update on a statewide shelter-in-place order that is not going into effect, according to the governor.
We do want to remind people of some of the details that came out in that press conference yesterday. One of the things that they're really trying to focus on is to free up more hospital beds. Part of the way that they're going to do that is to combine rooms of people who are affected with this, I believe. So that should free up at least 50%. I think the governor said more hospital beds, which is becoming an increasingly bigger and bigger problem as our healthcare system is being overwhelmed by this. So many of you healthcare workers out there in the very front lines, we do want to thank you for all that you're doing. But reminder that Governor Abbott is taking steps to make sure that more hospital beds are freed up.
And the president also is doing his part. He's actually allowed all car industry, the car workers and employees to go back to work in order to come out with some new ventilators for our hospital staff. So that is also something we're seeing happen as a positive, as you know, putting our foot forward in order to figure out how to navigate through this all, and of course bring the resources to the hospitals that are needed.
Yeah, and Stephanie's saying we have no cases in my county. Stephanie, you are among a huge number of counties that are not seeing any cases right now, and that is the primary reason the governor has decided not to put a statewide shelter-in-place order be mandatory, because there's so many counties right now that still haven't even seen a case. So to shut them down with some of the bigger counties like Dallas County, Williamson County, us here in Bell County, McLennan County, that would be probably not the right step. So that's part of the reason, Stephanie, good comment there, why we're not seeing a statewide shelter-in-place order.
So let us know if you guys have any comments. This is the perfect opportunity to get your questions answered. Let's see it. Jason says, I can't stay home or work at a place that is non-essential, but we still have to work mandatory overtime. Lemonade is not worth a person's life. So really interesting. There are still some companies that have not closed their doors. I know there's a change.org petition for Dillard's to close its doors. But if you don't need to leave your house, do not. I mean, even if we aren't in a shelter-in-place order right now here in Central Texas, I still think it's really necessary to remember if it's not needed, don't go get it. If you don't need to leave the house, don't do so. And of course, if you can work from home, that is always the option.
Yeah, absolutely, Heidi. You know, we mentioned last week and previous weeks that it was unlikely, probably impossible for us to work from home, but we've made it work. So if you work at somewhere that you're still having to go, I would encourage you to speak to your employers to see if it's a possibility that you can work from home, because the faster that we all stay in place, the faster that we're not spreading this, the faster this thing will be over, and the faster the people in the service industry will be able to go back to work, the faster the economy will rebound. So maybe talk to your employer if you're one of those people right now that's still having to get up and go to work every single day. See if there's a solution, a workaround that you can still get some of your job done from home.
And a lot of comments coming in this morning. Paula says, please make sure if you do have to travel, please sanitize your hands after pumping fuel. That is really important to remember. I think that's one of the places people forget to sanitize their hands. Let's see. I have to work and we don't have anything to disinfect. We can't find anything anywhere. That's coming in from Kara this morning.
And Shelby's saying, what about the dental side of this? I work and live where there are active cases and still seeing patients as normal. Just want to see and hear what people's thoughts are on this. Now, Heidi, in your family, you have some dentists, so maybe you've got some insight on this.
Yeah, so a lot of offices are actually closing, but they are opening for certain cases. So if you have an emergency dental situation, they are still operating for that. Now, it varies by location and it varies by company and dental office, but I do know that in the event of an emergency, there are still some offices in the country that are operating and that are providing the service, because as we know, just like hospitals, there can be emergency dental situations as well.
Jeannie saying, can I go out with a mask? I need dog food. Okay, Jeannie, good question. A dog food would be considered one of those things like groceries that is an essential item. Of course, you've got to feed the dog. So if you do have a mask, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to wear it, I suppose. I mean, of course, if you're a healthy person right now, health experts are suggesting that you don't wear a mask unless you are one of the people that is infected. But if you do need to go out and get dog food, yeah, just go out, buy your dog food. Make sure when you get home you're sanitizing. Even if you've got some Lysol wipes, sanitize that dog bag as well. You can't take too many precautions, but that's one of those essential items. You're not being forced to stay at home right now. It's just recommended unless you have to go out and get something you really need.
A comment coming in from Abigail says, tell people to stop buying baby wipes, please. I've gone to Walmart 4 to 5 times and the baby wipes are always gone. Y'all, there's babies that need those wipes more than adults. I have a one-year-old who's lucky that we found an extra box of baby wipes in our garage. Yeah, I think a lot of people are forgetting that some of these products you are buying and you are hoarding are needed for day-to-day lives, especially for babies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just another reminder to not hoard materials. Buy only what you need. There are so many people out there that are suffering as a result of people buying everything up in the store, baby wipes, toilet paper, things like that. People really need these products. And if you buy everything, you're not thinking about people like this woman who commented here that has a baby, a child that needs those baby wipes. Another comment coming in from Orangel who says, are dialysis clinics still open? So what we can tell you is that essential medical procedures like dialysis are still going as scheduled. Obviously, dialysis is something that people need, essential to life or death. So that is one of those medical procedures that is still going on.
And then Janet says, any scheduled press conferences from Bell County? Janet, as of right now, we don't have one coming up today, but I expect that to change as they will update the public on the latest numbers and what's next for Bell County. So just stick with us here on 6 News. Download the 6 News app. Of course, if there is any scheduled press conferences in Central Texas, we will have those on our website. We will be streaming those, and we will keep you updated, of course, on what comes out of those press conferences.
And I do want to put a note to our viewers out there, as we continue to navigate these press conferences, what we're going to start to see is a shift to not always announcing every single new case, but more of the mandatory procedures that will be put in place, and maybe if there's a certain cluster where there is an outbreak, we'll see that announced. But these press conferences will slowly shift towards not announcing every single case as more and more cases pop up across the county, and we will start learning more about what we need to do going forward, what will be mandatory, what will be required of us moving forward.
And of course, if you have any questions, be sure to email them to Chris. He is still verifying all the coronavirus claims. I know, Chris, today yours had to do with hand sanitizer and pets. Can you just update everyone on the results to that question?
Yeah, so actually, let me pull this up behind me so I can show you guys what it is that we talked about this morning, because it's a really important one. I bet so many of you have seen this viral Facebook post, more than 400,000 shares at last check. And it says that pet owners should be aware that hand sanitizer has the same ingredients as antifreeze. Don't let animals lick it off your hands. It can kill. Now, we talked to the pet poison hotline. We talked to local experts, and they all agree this is absolutely not true. This is false. So don't share this post at all. The reason being, pets would have to consume at least a full cup of hand sanitizer to have any harm to them. And of course, we know if you've ever gotten some in your mouth, it's not a tasty treat. It doesn't taste good to these pets, so that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna try to be breaking into your hand sanitizer and eating it all up. It's just not palatable, and they'd have to eat a lot of it for it to be dangerous. So if you're seeing this viral post that's hand sanitizer and antifreeze are essentially the same thing for your pets, I can ease your worries right now. It's just not true.
Awesome. And of course, if you have any questions, like we said earlier, there's all the contact information. It's on your screen. And you can stay up to date on everything coronavirus by texting the word coronavirus to 254-859-5481. And that is how you will stay updated. I do, before we say goodbye this morning, I want to say, first off, I want to answer Jamie's question, who came in late to our Still Up with 6 conversation. Are we shut down now in McLennan County? As of right now, no, Jamie, but it is encouraged that you stay home if you can. And Alyssa Williams is actually a nurse, so we want to say thank you to all that you do. Alyssa, I've been seeing your comments. I've been seeing that you guys are actually in need of supplies, and I see some people here stepping up saying they're going to see if they can help out. So this is awesome just to see this happening right in the comment section. But we also want you guys to send the love. You can use the hashtag. Tell us if somebody's doing something good in the community. We want to share stories of positivity as well. Of course, we want to keep you updated and informed, but we also want to spread the love. So that is why we are encouraging you to text us a picture or video of any good deeds that you see in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And a quick reminder before we go, if you've got an elderly neighbor, if you've got people in need, help them out. But help out our healthcare workers who are putting absolutely everything they can to help protect us from the spread of this virus. But if you can't, stay at home. It is so important right now. I know that so many of you are frustrated. You're shut down right now. But we need to stay at home. We need to listen to what health leaders are doing, to what health professionals are telling us. It's so important to heed that advice. You could be saving a life, even if it's not your own.
That is all good advice. Naomi says, is Bell County on a lockdown? They are not, but like Chris just said, it is encouraged you stay home. And correction, Alyssa actually just works with a lot of nurses on the floor. She's not a nurse, but still thank you for what you do. You're working hard. I see that you just got off your shift right now, so thank you so much for all that you do, regardless if you're not a nurse. But we do want to say, let's see, we're getting more questions about a lockdown. Before we say goodbye, Amy says, do y'all think we'll be on a lockdown this week? We can't really decide or tell you guys if that's going to be the case, but the way this country is moving to try and stop this pandemic, I do predict, of course this is not any verified information, but I do personally, me, Heidi, predict eventually we all will be, just to try and stop preventing this the spread of this virus.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly quite possible. We're seeing many major counties moving in that direction, but we do want to remind you, we don't have any insider information that any lockdown is coming. Of course, that could be announced in the coming days. It's certainly a possibility. It's certainly probably something that's being discussed among leadership, but right now, no indication that that's going to be the case. But if it were to be the case, I would expect it to be in the major counties like Bell and like McLennan County.
Yep, all great advice and all good words, but how many cases so far? Yvonne says, might have missed it. Yeah, we gave you a quick update. I'll give the numbers one more time. 17 positive cases in McLennan County. That's the most in any local county right now. Bell County has 10 total. 6 are in Temple, and Brazos County has 12 cases. 10 of them are travel related, and Milam County just has 1 case right now.
So those are the latest numbers. We do want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on Still Up with 6. Even though we're about to shut down, the conversation will continue. It doesn't matter that I'm at home, that Heidi's miles away at the studio. We are working around the clock to answer your questions. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 4:30 to 7 a.m. And of course on Still Up with 6 every day right after the show.